Hello, everybody, and welcome to the North American tournament. It is Ghost Joe. That's right, I'm in the game now. We have Dilo versus Falupa. I believe that we've seen both of these players on the channel before. Dilo coming in with a heavy armor specialist, arc light, and sledgehammer. Very good combo. I like this quite a bit because you have, although you don't have many chaff units, if you can get a single sniper unit in with these, something like a marksman, even Stormcallers or something, it does work very well because you have a good amount of meat and you have a really good amount of chaff clear. Coming in against Falupa with the giant spec, oh my, Falupa has Mustang and now 5 units of marksman. I guess he's going to be going with a marksman heavy build. Dilo does actually take a pretty good choice against this in the form of 2 crawlers. Crawlers are fantastic because it takes a little bit of a while for Mustang to chew through them. Not only that, they hold up marksmen and kill marksmen exceedingly easily. So I do like this choice quite a bit. Part of this tournament will be recorded live. Part of it will be replays, just like the other tournaments. The reason for that is some technical issues, as well as my beautiful wife, was able to record some of the games for me, so I really appreciate her doing that. So I am just kind of living life based off of her. Really well done for me, sweet pea. She did leave me a nice note on my desk that says testicles. I don't know where she is. I just came home, not here, and she just left me a note that says testicles. Looks like that round did go to our blue player. Well done for Dilo. Both players opting to skip there. Interesting choice. Having that extra $50 to unlock medium units. Oh, okay. Or in this case, play out a fortress. I mean, it's not a bad play here. It's only 1 unit. Dilo can potentially play 2 or 3 units, but a fortress can easily kill everything that's on the side of Dilo right now. Instead, opts for 2 more crawlers. Not a bad choice. Where are these crawlers going? The flanks? I didn't see where he placed them. All the way in his back corners. Okay, just something to protect his units, protect his flank. Come in a little bit later, and another unit of tanks. Okay. I think the fortress will give Falupa the edge here. Not only that, having a few extra units doesn't really matter in this case. Obviously, these crawlers are going to absolutely tear through this right side. And fortresses don't deal with crawlers very well. They do have a small splash damage radius, but really it's just here to absorb damage so that the Mustangs can continue to deal damage. The tanks and things won't deal any damage to the fortress, really. There's our crawlers on the right, absolutely tearing through it. The question really becomes, do the marksmen have enough DPS to get in here and kill everything else? The fortress is a little bit under half, and now the tower drops. It's almost certainly going to die. Will these Mustang be able to reassert their aggression onto the crawlers? They do. The fortress even being pulled over to the crawlers. That's actually quite good, as if the fortress is able to, it can kill 2 or 3 crawlers per shot. This looks like it will go the way of the fortress. Okay. Hey, and this thing's going to earn itself a ton of XP. Each tank killed is like, what, an extra 100-ish XP? Once that thing becomes level 2 or 3, it becomes a real pain to get rid of. You need a melting point, or you need something that can easily kill it off. Dilo instantly picks up the enhancement module, upgrades these tanks on the right. Okay. We see another fortress here for Falupa, as well as more snipers. Okay. Fortress sniper is not the worst choice in the world, especially because the fortress can spawn. Oh, he doesn't have it. This fortress does not have the ability to spawn Fang. Really, there's going to need to be some type of chaff unit in the front. Right now, if Dilo wanted to, he could have tried to play out... Ooh, interesting. And what, play it on the arc light? This arc light can be upgraded. Interesting that these tanks were given the enhancement module, upgraded, and then recycled in order to play another arc light, save that $150. Potentially this enhancement module will be played on this arc light, upgrading it, and if the arc light does well again, it could be upgraded again and then sold off for a profit, just allowing Dilo to play more and more units. I would think that some melting points or stormcallers are going to be the case. Okay, the enhancement module was not placed. I guess he wants to keep these units. No reason not to upgrade them, though. That may have been a small misplay here by Dilo. Hard to tell. He may have something specific in mind. These Phoenix are going to get online onto the fortress very early. It all just depends on whether or not there's enough crawlers to keep this going. I don't know if the crawlers will last long enough for the Phoenix to chew through this fortress. Getting a bit of support here by the crawlers. That was actually a big DPS boost by those crawlers. Fortress on the left will probably drop, but the one on the right has already made it through. Oh, these Phoenix need to fire at least one more volley. Oh, and he does get it. That's going to save him 400 points. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of damage, I should say, as well. Ooh, Dilo dropping down to 26, almost 2,700 HP. Missile strike for Dilo. Subsidized Mustangs are very good, but Falupa instead grabs the super heavy armor. Wow. All right, these boys are going to live forever. There's the melting point, finally. Melting point right on top of this guy would just annihilate him. That's exactly what we're going for here. They don't really have... Neither player really has any reach to reach into the back line and be able to deal with what's coming. By reach, I mean some form of artillery. That normally comes in the form of Stormcallers, but you can often use flanking units as your reach. So let's say that there's 3 units of Stormcallers here. All of these units would be pulled by... I don't know, 1 unit of crawlers, 1 unit of fangs, something like that. That can act as your reach just because you're going to be able to annoy those units, keep them off the front line for a minute while your guys get online and are able to deal with them. Ooh, without that crawler support, or without those Mustang support, these crawlers should be able to do considerably more. The Fortress Anti-Air goes out and is once again nearly useless. It gets some damage dealt. Nothing wrong with a little bit of damage dealt. There we go, taking out the Phoenix. It takes 2 volleys normally to get rid of a unit of Phoenix. That can be the difference between life and death. Unfortunately, those fortresses do take a little bit too long, in my opinion, to clear away anti-air, but if they were better at it, perhaps the fortress itself would be too strong. Melting Points earned itself a level. That's exactly what he wants. Those melting points, once they get to level 2 or 3, especially if they're spawning out crawlers, become a real menace. And right now, crawlers are kind of the best option. The crawler melting point beats Sniper Fortress very well. So I do like this quite a bit, as well as just having the support of some sledgehammers and arc lights to clear away chaff and to get in the way of sniper shots. Not a bad choice. Ooh, Orbital Javelin isn't very useful here for either player, but that acid is very useful for Falupa. Playing down some acid right here, he's going to get a lot of medium units. No, instead goes with the Javelin. If this bad boy upgrades, that Javelin does not kill it. So, interesting choice there. It looks like Dilo did skip. There's the Fang, finally. Oh, and our Melting Point is able to upgrade for free. That is exactly what he wanted, plus the range upgrade. Range is exceedingly important, as it will allow these guys to stay far enough away that they won't be obliterated by fortress shots. Not only that, they'll stay outside of this marksman range just a little while longer. The Melting Point does actually outrange the marksman with the upgrade. And, wow, Dilo really sniffed this out. He said, yeah, most likely it's going to be Fang at the front. Some level 2 crawlers and an arc light. These guys earned their level because they traveled all the way across the map, killing 2 towers and a couple of marksmen. That's great. This is actually very annoying to deal with. I would imagine some of these guys are going to chase down this way and probably kill the marksman. With the support of this arc light, they may even get the Mustang. Unfortunately, what happens is if the crawlers all die, the arc light just doesn't have very good DPS when it comes to dealing with the tower. But it is what it is. This fortress is almost certainly dead again. Yeah, nothing to stop it. Very well done. Wow, this arc light in support. Very, very nicely done. There's still a ton of crawlers in the back line. Another Melting Point gets rid of these fortresses. There needs to be a little bit more wave clear, a little bit more support for the fortresses if they're going to last. And that was a devastating win. I don't know if Dilo even lost a full unit of anything. Some of those crawlers were still alive. Some of the tanks were still alive. Tech Spec versus Smoke Bomb. I think the Smoke Bomb is the proper choice here. I normally love the Tech Spec, but Smoke Bomb is just so good for closing out a game, especially against these units that are all basically medium ranged. You know, snipers tend to be long range units, but in this case, they just don't have the gusto. Fortresses now have shields. It will protect them a little bit. I like the Stormcallers. Man, Dilo really using his head. He's predicting every single one of these matches, or every single one of these rounds, very well. Sniper up front. Okay. It should come online. I don't know. I think these crawlers will actually pass up these units here on the left, or on the right. And the sniper will be shooting at basically nothing. And as well, a level 1 sniper, it's going to take forever to kill a level 1 or 2 melting point. A level 2 melting point, yeah, this guy will be shooting at it all game long. That's one of the issues with snipers. I wish their DPS was slightly higher. If we could push that up to like 2,600 a shot, that'd be quite good. It would kind of, it wouldn't really mess with the tanks very much. It wouldn't really mess with a lot of other units very much, but it would help them get through giants just that little bit quicker. Smoke goes out. Marksmen are all having to march through it. It's not really too big of an issue because normally they would be shooting at a whole lot of nothing anyways, but hey, it's something. There's one more fortress in the back. These melting points have now dealt with these 2 fortresses. Pretty much as soon as that laser lands, you know your fortress is dead. And that will be that. There really need to be just a lot more chaff to keep this war fighting for a long time, but Felupo was just never able to make that transition. If he went for, I don't know, 3 or 4 units of crawlers of his own, or even just a whole bunch of wasps, that could have worked out for him, just because the only thing that really shoots up in this army are these melting points. So melting points do deal with wasps pretty well, but hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah, you have to do something. Also, this army was very slow, so Felupa probably would have had a better chance against it, but we'll see you guys in the live cast. Like and subscribe. Today we're taking a look at Stressman versus Einhard. This is round 2 of the tournament. I see my green screen's gotten me looking a little funny. I kind of like this, like a ghost from the past. Look at these nice guys. Giving each other a little wave, high five. Stressman, longtime viewer, maybe. I did play against him on the ladder a bit ago. He was very, very kind. Wrote a really cool comment. I hope he wins. And he's got a pretty darn scary setup. He's coming in here as a giant specialist against Einhard, whose supply. Battle of basically the 2 A's here. You know, I would rate either of these 2 characters very highly. By characters, I do mean specialists. Both have Phoenixes. Phoenixes are a great unit to have in the early game, just because if there isn't really a lot of anti-air, then your Phoenixes will always win. And in fact, the only anti-air here for our red player, Einhard, are his own Phoenixes. So all that needs to survive are one of these groups of Fang. Granted, with the amount of arc lights on the field, it's very, very unlikely that any Fang will survive. Unless these Phoenix can come in and pick them off, which on the left side seems much more likely. Now, having the Giant Specialist unlock is quite strong. So what I have found to have happen is that when I'm playing a Giant Specialist, I don't actually use the Giant Specialist as much as I should have, and I'm flying away real quick. The reason I say that is that the Giant Specialist doesn't really play very well as a Giant Specialist. You know, think for a minute. The Heavy Armor Specialist, obviously Giants are considerably better with it. Cost Control Specialist, you're able to play more Giants over time. It kind of adds up here. Ooh, these Phoenix on the left are going to get in. Wow, there goes the enemy Phoenix. Here goes one on the left. And some Fang are still alive as well. Wow, this was a quick wipe. Well done by Stressman. Interesting play here by Einhard. I'm interested to see if he decides to go with more arc lights or if he ends up grabbing some chaff. Tech spec this early in the game is phenomenal, especially with a supply specialist. That's $50 you can just spend on it. Stressman grabs the missile. Einhard does grab the tech spec. If he grabs 2 technologies, there's 1, though it does severely limit the number of units he can play out this game, or at least this round. Ooh, and really good play here by Stressman, just choosing to take out the enemy Phoenix immediately. This will allow him to deploy a lot more crawlers. Those crawlers' lives are basically forfeit, but by killing these enemy Phoenix, he severely limits the ability for counter Phoenix play. So I think that was a very good idea. He still has $200 here for Stressman. may unlock a giant. Something like a fortress at this point would do extremely well. Instead opts to go with a third unit of crawlers. That's a lot of crawlers. Unfortunately, they are going to be met by just an absurd amount of arc lights at this point. Good missile strike does take out the backline Phoenix. I think that was a great play. These Phoenix should die extremely quickly because this arc light is going to be too concerned cleaning up all of these crawlers. Ooh, there's the second shot. One Phoenix drops. Another Phoenix must live. There it goes. Okay, this must go the way of Stressman. These Phoenix are earning themselves quite a bit of XP as well. That's actually very, very nice. And the missile goes off. This means that Einhard did waste that $50 on what looked to be about 3 Fang. That is unfortunate. I'd say 1 Fang's life is worth about half a credit, maybe more. Einhard does quickly grab the amp core. You know, a Rhino would actually do very well in this position. And a good choice with some Mustang. Mustang are just fantastic units, especially if you give them that amp core. Very, very powerful. It just means that they'll be able to cut through all of these Fang exceedingly quickly. And then you have the arc lights here to just cut down on the crawlers. Double missile here from Einhard. Wow, really using that supply specialist money. Perhaps overspending? And we do see a very good call with the Stormcallers coming out here for Stressman. Ooh, and a really interesting positioning on this as well. I think the Stormcallers may get caught up in the blast of this, but that should only happen 1 round. It's an unfortunate thing to have happen. In fact, Stressman is in a position for what I like to call the Stormcaller cheese. Having some Stormcallers right at the front line here could have them bombard the enemy tower before units come out. And do they touch? So what happens is Stormcallers tend to bump each other into it. Yeah, he loses 2 of them, but not too bad actually. Not too bad at all. These guys are still firing on pretty much all cylinders. That's actually worked out quite well. The Phoenix are starting to drop in the center. There's still plenty of crawlers and other chaff here to eat away at this. Strangely enough, even with this many arc lights, it feels like Einhard just doesn't have enough wave clear, and a lot of money was spent there on missiles. This is going to put Stressman in an incredibly good position to continue forward in this game. Stressman hasn't lost a single round. It's round 4. Gee Louise. By the way, if you like Ghost Joe, be sure to like and subscribe. It's quite a bit of fun. I'll have to fix the green screen in the next one. Ooh. Okay. Interesting choice. Ion Blast. I did like the Fortress here from Stressman. Great pickup. And he can pop the amp core on one of these guys. It just means that they won't die. The only thing that is of any danger to these fortresses are these 2 Phoenixes. Is this guy gonna... Yeah, he's gonna get zapped. Where are you putting this amp core? Yeah, there we go. I'd go with the one on the left as well. So, the reason I'm preferring the left over the right in this case is that the right seemed to work out a little bit better. So by placing the amp core on something that's such a heavy giant, you're more likely to be able to push that back in because the enemy will most likely try and place more on the side that they're losing the most. Look at this giant though, just soaking up so much damage. Oh, and you hate to see it, but the Phoenix are all getting chain locked onto these chaff units in the front. Really well played here. This fortress is still standing tall. Somehow the Phoenix on this side got wiped, most likely by those Mustang. But there really isn't anything here that can deal with it. These guys only shoot for, what, 3,000 a shot? And this guy's got 93,000 HP. That's going to take way too long. And that should be that. This one Phoenix should be able to make its way over. And Einhard, not quite dead. Very close, though. Very, very close. And will this fortress earn... Oh, no. No level. But not bad. Both players playing a very low-level game, i.e. they're not leveling up their units. We have seen a little bit of technology, but Stressman is just pushing... oh my god, that's super heavy armor. Oh, that would be egregiously powerful. Stressman skips. Einhard has to choose between super heavy armor or the orbital. That javelin could potentially take out one of these fortresses and deal significant damage to the other. There's the missile here from Stressman. Should be able to catch the majority of these Mustang and these Phoenix. Should work quite well, I would think. Charge shot coming out here for the arc lights. It does up their damage significantly. Wow. Munching down on one of those fortress to play out two other. Interesting choice. Huh. I guess he wanted to adjust the positioning. Sure. Makes sense. If he didn't like where that one was, he was afraid of a melting point. Why not? I like that quite a bit. There's the shielding. Next up, we're most likely to see Rocket Punch and or Fang. Both are great upgrades. What can also make these Fang stay in the game so much longer is the shield. Portable shield on the Fang. Then you have your fortresses popping out Fang. All of a sudden, you just have a completely you just have a complete army. Huge giant that deals with other giant units fairly well, and chaff unit that deals with flying units fairly well. It's not bad. Obviously, having it support some other things is great. Man, killing that side, incredibly powerful. Here comes the Stormcallers. There's no missile interceptors on the field whatsoever. These level 2 Phoenix are going to be able to one-shot these arc lights. Should make a huge difference here. Some level 2 arc lights, they've been eating up a lot of chaff, but there is nothing to stop these fortresses, and Stress Man will just absolutely carry this game. Well played, my man. Congratulations. I hope to see you at the very end of this tournament. And if you have been enjoying these videos, be sure to like and subscribe. And hey, Facecam, woohoo, we did it. See you guys in a moment. GCU versus B. This is our semifinals. Now, the recording of this is very strange. I don't know why, but the game won't let us see their deployments. You see how it just flipped across there? So I have turned it down quite a bit. GCU opting to go with a Rhino Specialist, unlocked some crawlers, going with a pseudo headbutt. Supply Specialist here for B. A lot of his units put up on this right-hand flank. He's going to try and overwhelm this point. GCU obviously went with the crawlers just because he needs to get underneath the minimum range of these Stormcallers. Very, very important. His Fang are just frankly not going to be able to cut it. By placing a unit of Fang all the way at the back here as well, he's hoping to delay a lot of these units, and he most likely will be able to do just that. Fang are going to be able to cut through a little bit of these crawlers, but one unit of Fang normally loses to a unit of crawlers, depending on the way that the crawlers kind of fold in. But if they're supported by these Stormcallers, that's going to be that. This is almost certainly going to go in the way of GCU, so I'm just going to speed it up a bit. Those crawlers will get in a minimum range. Oh, wow, only one of them make it. That's kind of fun. But pretty much no matter what, that one little crawler is going to win this, so there's no reason for us to really worry about it too much. Stormcallers and tanks should earn themselves a little bit of XP for killing each other. Going to be pretty much an even Stevens trade. Problem is that the Stormcallers dying, they'll most likely kill off at least another tank. Well, maybe not. And in doing so, they should be able to give themselves a lot of extra XP. I have to play with this slider quite a bit because the game doesn't want us to see the deployments. Round 2. Ooh, okay, that's that. Looks like B went with some very forward-put Phoenixes. Interesting choice there. I'm not sure what the idea was behind it besides just tower sniping. Those Phoenixes, can they get jump drive? Yes, they can. One of the most powerful things in the game. I absolutely love a good jump drive. This is going to work out very well. Also, spending money on a shield. Unlocking and playing a unit of Phoenix, that's 250 bucks. Another 100 on the shield, that's 350. And round 4, you only have $400. So this is very much a win now scenario. Stormcallers here, I imagine that GCU did pick up the subsidized Stormcallers. Played out 2 of them to help just decimate these enemy lines. Oh, the Stormcallers are shooting the wrong way. They may not get the shield. They do not. That's exactly what B did want. Having that shield not drop is very important. Here comes the Rhino. Elite Mustang for GCU. Orbital Bombardment for B. Wow. Good Orbital Bombardment as well. And Elite Mustang as well. Whoa. Okay, this right flank is suddenly terrifying. These level 3 Mustang can kill literally everything on the field. The jump drive's coming out. Where are those Phoenix going? Backline? Yeah. Well done. Now, those Phoenix may be able to get in here and kill the tower in time. I honestly may have saved this Phoenix jump drive till the next turn because this orbital bombardment's already going to kill basically everything. So whether or not I snipe the tower, not super important. And now this can be sniffed out here by these level 3 Mustangs. So I'm hoping that B realizes, hey, that oh, am I not allowed to click on these guys? No, I'm not. Which way are you going? Yeah, they're gonna go kill those phoenixes. That level 2 Rhino, there's nothing here that can really stop it. It will get tied up on all of these units, which may give the other units enough time to kill them, but I highly doubt it. And these level 3 Mustang coming in on this flank can basically kill everything. The only thing that they're going to have struggle with are these Stormcrawlers. The Stormcrawlers will still one-shot them. Here they come. I am Cinnamon. Good Stormcaller hits all around. These Fang actually working out fairly well as roadblocks. Ooh, but man, those orbital bombardments just able to make it so that those artillery batteries are always vulnerable. Here comes the rest of those level 3 Mustang. If the level 3 Mustang are able to cut through everything, I wouldn't be surprised. The only problem they're going to have is bunching up like this to good Stormcaller barrages. Man, that just decimates them, and they just don't stand a chance against the shields. This shield MVP. If that shield had not been here, these Stormcallers would have all died. Tank is eventually going to finish off the Arclight. It will take it a moment, but there we go. These little Fang, it takes roughly 10 Fang to kill a unit of Phoenix, so they're not going to be able to cut it, and that is that. Looks like the game has also fixed itself, so now we don't need to worry about not being able to see the rounds. I don't know why it does that sometimes. Photon emission's very powerful here. Same with the super heavy armor, because the reason I say the super heavy armor is quite strong is if these tanks get a level and the super heavy armor, it's way too expensive to do right now. But they become nigh immune to those Stormcaller shots. Instead, GCU does pick up the photon emission. I think that's a great play. It's just like the opposite of the orbital bombardment from before. His units are going to last significantly longer. Tanks are both getting an upgrade. Some more level 3 Mustang. Very good choice here. These level 3 Mustangs should be able to kill everything on the field. GCU has so many more specialists compared to B that over time that can work out. Now, recognize that skill cards, these guys that are deployable, are really, really powerful. Like, really powerful. Most of the time, I would rate something like an orbital bombardment, maybe as like A, maybe even S tier, depending on the situation. Whereas something like the Elite Mustang, much more situational, and even detrimental if you just need to get out a lot of units. You know, let's say that some Vulcan or something comes down, something that deals with these level 3 Mustang fairly well. It really bars you out of putting Mustang where you need them. So that can become an issue. This little Rhino probably needs to get recycled. He's just going to be feeding XP. There's no real reason for him to exist at this point, and he's going to die very, very quickly. Huge oil here in the center. If these Stormcallers get fire next turn, they're going to be able to deal with that very well. Once again, the right flank drops very quickly, but the left is finally won here. These extra Mustang really making a difference. Down goes the tower, and if these Stormcallers are able to switch over and start bombarding this position, they're going to be in a really good spot to just take everything out. Perhaps even earning themselves a level. They should aggro on the tower or enemy Stormcallers first. It looks like it's going to be enemy Stormcallers / these melting points. Ooh, man, these crawlers. They're level 2. They're going to chew through that tower pretty quick. Down it goes. Units receive more damage when the tower drops, as well as being slowed and dealing less damage. Tanks should be able to take this out, but there's nothing else that shoots up. Very powerful move here by B, just to have a couple of flying units. These flyers are going to earn themselves a ton of XP for killing off these Stormcallers. Will they earn the level? Yes, they do. Very well done. GCU taking a bit of a slap in there. Not too bad, but he needs to get rid of this Rhino. There's no point in it. Orbital Javelin, kind of meh. Comes offline a little bit too late. B goes with Senior Manufacturing Specialist. I think he wants more of these bad boys. Rhino is eaten, and so is the melting point to be redeployed. That's an extra $50. Why not do so? More Mustang with the range increase. These Mustang are very powerful. Very, very powerful. This charged ammo, unfortunately, is going to be wasted. It's just going to get blown up. I do really think that the charged ammo on Mustang is a fantastic play. Also, Gnome for the holidays. It's almost the holidays, guys. Happy October. We've got 2 more months, and then this year's done. Thank Christ. This year I've had to go away twice, I think. It just feels good to be home. Stormcallers are getting a few upgrades. Not bad. I really think that this positioning is more to B's benefit than GCU. Being the aggressor always has a problem of your units having to rush in and then clump up. And something like this fire can really harm them. The fire on these Stormcallers should be able to just ignite and destroy everything that's on the field, including these Stormcallers in the center, these Crawlers, and most likely even these Mustang. Now, the range on the Mustang is very important, as it allows them to stay outside of things like this fire a little bit longer. So we'll have to see if that works out. Do these guys make it? Oh, they all died. And there's the fire. It's just going to cook off all of this chaff. Some of these Mustang might survive the fire. No, they all get stuck in it and die. If your Mustang are a little bit faster with something like the Speed Specialist, they can make it out of there. But man, having that oil to slow them at first, then the Stormcallers to burn them all off. This is where I'm talking about your Mustangs being $300 hurts a lot, because a simple trick like this, slowing them down one round, burning them the next round, it can really hurt you. GCU down to 1,000. This is a tough one. Haste module, very good on Mustang as well. And GCU does agree. Super heavy armor, it's just a little expensive at this point, but if it does go on these melting points, that melting point is not going to die. A level 2 melting point with super heavy armor against level 3 Mustang, that thing's basically immune. I do like this Crawler upgrade. The Subterranean Blitz is very fun. It means that they're taking a lot less damage and they get to the enemy units very, very quickly. Instead, we see a Vulcan focusing in on this chaff. I think that's a great idea. There really isn't any medium units besides these 2 level 2 tanks. They're a decent front line, but really when you have units like this, you want 4 or 6 of them, just so that way you have good coverage across the field. That's not going to happen. These Stormcallers still have not earned themselves an upgrade. They haven't really been doing much, but they are very necessary to get through shields. Without them, I think that B is going to do pretty darn well here. More Mustang. Oh, it's going to be tough. That's going to be really tough to crack these shields. With 3 level 3 Mustang on a shield, it's not going to last too long. But it is going to delay those Mustang for a long period of time. See how quickly that shield does drop, though? The fire is a big issue, though. These Vulcans should be able to chew through it without really any problem. Stormcaller shots going down in the center, burning off a ton of these Mustang. Level 3 Mustang able to clear off these Vulcan, though, pretty darn quick. Wow, really darn quick. Can they survive the fire? Yes, but some of them are still ticking in it. As long as 1 to 2 of them make it through the fire, they should be able to clear out these guys. Wow. And just having enough Mustang, having enough really good units that do pretty darn good DPS is enough. Will be double down on the Vulcan, though. They did earn a level. And now that they're level 2, they'll be able to sustain a lot longer. Both players pick up the Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm in that center, same place we saw pretty much every single deployable going down before. Good Crawler rush here. Dance of the Crawlers. They're beautiful little guys. They're just going to zoom all the way across. By doing so, it will catch all of these Stormcallers. The Stormcallers will fire and almost certainly miss just because those Crawlers are moving insanely fast now with the +3 speed from the Subterranean Blitz. If you grab this and the Mechanical Rage, these guys are insanely fast, both above and below ground. Mass shielding by both players, at least by GCU, not really much by B. GCU still has a lot of money on his hands. I would recommend that he upgrade these Stormcallers because they can deal significant damage to Giants and also to shields. I like that he gave the Mustang on the far right and the far left, or left and right, the different modules. Reason for this is that, oh wow, and you know what? There isn't a melting point on the field anymore. So why not go with a level 2 Rhino? That's just going to force this Vulcan to deal all of its damage towards these Rhinos. That is a very good choice here. It should help the fire all drop down on the Rhino, as well as pushing this Rhino towards one center point will most likely get it that tower kill. Very, very good choice here. Missile is going to do almost nothing. It should land on those shields. Lightning Storm, pretty rough, but here comes the Rhinos. Get caught up a little bit on these Crawlers. It shouldn't really be much of an issue for them. They have good support. There's the fire. It is going to start ticking away at this Rhino pretty darn quick. Oh, and down it goes. But that was a lot of DPS wasted. Man, this mass shielding protecting those Mustang. The Mustang are in range to kill off basically everything while still under that shield cover. And wow, level 3 Mustang, just one of the best units in the game right now. They have such good DPS. They can shoot both up and down. They have great upgrades. Don't sleep on Mustang. When you see those level 3 Mustang unit card, I'd almost always pick it. Giant Hunter or Smoke Bomb. Instead, we see the Barrier and Smoke Bomb. I like that. We have seen a lot of shields coming down, though, so I'm not sure how well this smoke will work. Smoke can often be a double-edged sword. Lots of upgrades for these Mustang, getting up to level 4 in some cases with the armor-piercing bullets. Man, these Mustang are hitting hard. 168 damage. What are these guys doing? 280. That doesn't seem like a whole lot, but recognize these guys hit less than every half second, meaning they do 280 damage times 2 every second. That's a lot per unit, and there's a lot of Mustangs per unit. Like the entities, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 Mustangs and an entity of Mustangs. That's a lot. We see a good reach here. Instead of upgrading or grabbing more Stormcallers, we're going with Crawlers. This should delay all of these units. That's going to help out considerably. The Dance of the Crawlers, Oil and Fire, it's just madness. So many deployables. The Photon upgrade coming across here on the right. So the Fortress has Rocket Punch. Interesting choice here. It will be eaten up by these Mustang while they're still under the shields. The Rocket Punch can deal with the shields quite well. When the second one goes off, if these units are blobbed, it can deal a significant amount of splash damage. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst, mind you, but it's not the greatest. Out comes the smoke. Smoke in the center is basically going to do nothing. These rhinos are boogie-oogieing. They don't care. Getting caught up on the crawlers again, but importantly, causing these Vulcan to drop their fire in areas that doesn't really matter. The fire is kind of just pulsed out across the entire left and right side of the field. Oh, that's a lot of dead Mustang, but it's not enough. B, able to take this round very quickly. Well done indeed. GCU able to deal a lot of damage to B, take the round very quickly. GCU does grab the amp core, almost certainly going onto a unit of Mustang. Incendiary Bomb could be used very well here by B again. That fire is able to clear off at least one unit of Mustang a turn, but really, having some, like 3 or 4 more Stormcallers pounding in may be a better choice here than Mass Giant. Either that or some heavy units that can absorb some of these shots. But at this point, the Mustang are just hitting so hard. So ridiculously hard. I don't know if he'll be able to get through this. In fact, I would think that GCU has a very good shot at winning here. Shield Specialist could have helped. It's not really worth the $500 for the barrier on these fortresses. They're just not very healthy barriers. I mean, in consideration, they're the exact same, but without an upgrade on the fortress, those shields aren't very good, at least cost-wise. We do have a giant fortress in the background. Yeah, that wouldn't go very well. Ooh, okay, this guy might survive. I don't think that missile will be enough to kill it, but the 2 missiles will slow it down considerably. Really good play here by GCU. Putting out multiple missiles. What we see a lot of players do is just the single coverage. That can work, at least to slow down the units till the game is already decided, but having that double does ensure that pretty much any aggression is going to be slowed enough that the outcome of the battle is decided before the aggression hits. Lots of shielding, even one in the center. Interesting choice here, just to protect those crawlers as they're running around. Fire goes out in a place that doesn't really matter. Some of these crawlers get burned by their own fire. Oh my gosh, look at these Mustangs just chew through these units. Wow. Some of them are sitting in the fire. It's causing them a bit of grief, but it's not going to be the end of the world. Rhino on the flank was able to make it in. This fortress did kill off everything, but it's just going to be too slow to really make any difference here. There goes the Rocket Punch. I guess he took a tickle and decided to use his Rocket Punch. Poor little guy. This will be that. Well done here. Is it enough to kill B? Probably. You'd be surprised, but Mustang do add up. Oh my gosh, B is in it by 1 round. Can he make a comeback? Speed Specialist by both players. What? An Overlord? Okay. Okay. Overlord with the photon emission. It might buy him a lot of time. Man, this is where I bet GCU wish he went Giant Hunter. The meme lives. Giant Hunter for life. Yeah, it's not that B's army is weak. It's just that the reach of the army is fairly low. These Mustang are all able to sit underneath their shields and survive pretty much any and all damage that would be coming at them. So without the ability to kind of go underneath and start dealing damage to these Mustangs, you know, either with some crawlers or some other melee unit that can get under the shields, or with some super heavy stormcallers in order to bombard and destroy these shields, get rid of the Mustang early, I don't know really what his choices are. He believes that it's going to be Overlords. Overlords will get absolutely torn apart by these level 5 Mustang. Mass upgrades here. So what happens when you have so many very good units, like exceedingly good units in the form of these Mustang, is that you spend all your money upgrading them, and that gives you a ton of money left over to play out different things that, you know, like all of the deployables, being able to get another unit of super heavy units, like whatever it is that you want, because these units perform so well in general, you just continue to upgrade them. You don't really need more of them. At that point, they start to become a little bit of a liability to something that mass counters them. Here comes the Rhino. Oh my gosh, he got caught up by a couple of those crawlers, but it's not going to matter. That photon emission was great, and it did help the survivability a little bit, but man, that Rhino just steamrolled right through there with that photon coating, able to make it work. Bam, wango bango. That's going to be that. Surprisingly, still quite a few of the Mustang did go down. It wasn't, you know, a huge loss, but I would have thought that this would have gone a little bit more in the way of GCU. But hey, still winning by 1,000-ish damage is not bad. Oh man, I almost got it on the nose. GG, GG. We'll see you in the finals. GCU versus, well, I don't know. See you in a moment. This is it for all the marbles, everybody. We have Kick versus GCU, two of the best players in the world, playing for no cash. Supply versus with Marksman and Sledgehammer versus probably the Giant Specialist in this case. You know, having those Arc Lights and Steel Balls, very powerful. Giant Specialist, really good. The Cost Control Specialist is pretty powerful here as well with a lot of HP, but Giant Specialist it is. This is a good setup for a Headbutt. So Headbutt is when you play all of your units on one flank or the other. I think this would work out very well for GCU in this case. Just because he has very decent wave clear. GCU does agree with me. Decent wave clear and really good single point damage. Steel Balls have a lot of health. The snipers will struggle to get through the Steel Balls. In fact, no, the Steel Balls don't survive 2 shots from the snipers, but you know, they will soak up a lot of damage. Pairing them off with some crawlers. Tanks are decent wave clear, but really you have them because they're multiple entities. Obviously, a unit of Arc Lights deals with crawlers significantly better than a unit of Sledgehammers. So Kick deploying these crawlers, although I think is the right choice, will still probably be eaten up by this unit of Arc Lights without really much of an issue. Though this wide deployment does mean that Kick has a little bit more room to play with. His crawlers can easily get to this backline if he deploys something on these flanks or up on this sonar. Even some Stormcaller cheese can work very well here. Put some Stormcallers right there so that they destroy the tower very quickly. Not a bad choice. Now, given that we haven't quite yet seen any tournaments for cash, or like a worldwide tournament or something like that, tell me what you guys think you'd like to see from a Mechabellum sponsored tournament. You know, would you like to see all the best players in the world playing against each other in like the form of a StarCraft Grand Finals? Would you like to see, I don't know, a charity run stream? Tell me what you guys want, and we'll see if we can't make it happen. Crawler War in the center is going to go in the way of GCU. These Arc Lights really do make a huge difference. The tank's able to support for a minute or two. Wow, getting a lot more of these Steel Balls than I thought. He'll almost certainly get this last Steel Ball. Okay. This isn't really going the way that I thought it would. I thought it would be just a real landslide here for GCU, but actually the deployment of Kick was able to make this last quite a bit longer. He won't... he might get this tower in time. Losing both your towers does stack that debuff, which will significantly weaken his units for a long period of time. Now the crawlers are slowed. This might work out. The tanks may be able to grab this Arc Light, but they almost certainly won't be able to grab the Steel Balls.
Just the tank's DPS is so low before they have Mechanical Rage. He might get this last... No, he won't get it. The tanks just shoot, like, once every 20 minutes. So, I mean, I get it. Loading a tank is probably very difficult. Elite Hacker, one of my favorite things in the world. But no, subsidized Arclight does make a lot more sense here for both players. Having some Arclights on the field, only costing $50, does mean that you can play out 2 Arclights and then have more than enough cash for an important upgrade like the range. Range, very powerful if you want to make these Arclights your main damage dealer. Having all of these upgrades, this is how I play my Arclights if I want my Arclights to be the mainstay of my army. I'd highly recommend every once in a while changing up how you play. The Arclight carry is very strong because Arclights shoot so quickly, because they have relatively good amounts of HP, and they just have some of the best upgrades in the game. This charge shot mixed in with the electromagnetic range and elite marksman means that they can hit like snipers, and they can hit much more often than snipers. So very, very powerful. Marksman in the back is really making it work. There is an Arclight in the back line as well, which drew off some of these tanks, but this is going to go the way of Kick. Very well done. Good deployment, good units. Those tanks really making a difference here until the Arclights get the charge shot. Ooh, interesting. He does have his Arclights with anti-aircraft for Kick. I don't really mind the anti-aircraft on Arclights, but Arclights just don't serve that well as anti-aircraft units. I shouldn't say that. They serve a very good role as an anti-aircraft unit, but most of the things in the air don't really need an Arclight to kill them. If you just have something as simple as a unit of Mustangs, you deal with basically everything that flies anyways. So what's the point? You know, you're taking away all of this DPS for your Arclights to shoot down some Wasps or some Phoenix. Wow. You know, I'd much rather my Arclight shoot 10 times at a... wow, quick pickups there. Shoot 10 times at a unit of steel balls than always having to transition between shooting up and down. Having dedicated things that shoot the flyers is generally better. Here comes a fortress with that heavy armor. This thing now has 100,000 HP. There really isn't anything that's going to deal with this. In fact, Kick can't even unlock anything to deal with it. And I think actually he could. He had these units before. Maybe playing some Fang or a unit of crawlers in the backline would be useful at this point. This flank is completely open. Now it's not. Well done by GCU recognizing that. This Arclight with charge shot shouldn't have any problem dealing with the Arclight with range, just because it will deal significantly more damage, 1,000 versus 300. So this guy will just chew through this enemy Arclight very quickly, 4 shots and it will be dead. And Arclights shoot roughly once a second. You know, a little bit slower than once a second, but not bad. Kick still sitting on 300 bucks. He could give the Sledgehammer's range, which isn't a terrible upgrade, or even giving them the speed is quite good. But look at this guy, just absolutely able to annihilate his foe. The question really does become, can he ever take care of the fortress? So this is why charge shot is so powerful on the Arclights, because it does have that splash damage. He's able to kill those steel balls very, very quickly. A lot of players don't think about using Arclights to deal with steel balls because steel balls should counter Arclights really well. But if you have enough chaff, the steel balls can just sit behind it and just or the Arclights can sit behind your chaff and just absolutely annihilate the steel balls because they fire so quickly. In 4 seconds, 4.4 seconds, they've done 4,000 damage with splash versus this marksman who takes 3 seconds to deal a little bit over 4,000 damage to 1 unit, no splash included. So the Arclights often just have much better DPS. That's why we have seen a little bit less marksmen recently, but for dealing with giant units, marksmen are still pretty darn good because they tend to have more range and their upgrades favor killing giant units. Wow, Giant Hunter could be useful here. Yes, Kick does take it. Oh, Kick. I love Giant Hunter. Is it better than the range specialist? No, it's not. But I really like it. We do see these Arclights getting an upgrade now, dealing 2,000 damage a pop. Will we see the Arclight aggression continue? With the elite marksmen, they will suddenly become much more dangerous, especially as they continue to earn levels. Instead, it's going to be a unit of Fang. Okay. Okay, just to absorb some damage. I can see that. Aha! And the range increase on the arc lights. So I tend to go with the elite marksman over the range increase, at least at first, because it does help them get kills a little bit more because their damage is a little bit higher, especially against this low entity count army. I do think that the range is probably better, just because they won't get a whole lot of range out of the elite marksman while they're all level 1. It only increases the range by 8 versus 40. They have to hit 5 levels in order to get this range increase of 40, but the damage increase of, let's say 36% after they've earned a few levels is quite strong. Good reach here with these guys are going to allow the crawlers and things to get back online. That's actually very useful. This arc light is not dealing enough damage to deal with these steel balls in the center. Steel balls are online on the tower. Oh my word. Well done here by GCU, just having enough units to kind of push through that center line. That reach really did matter, as those units were not able to deal with this very well. This level 2 arc light's going to have no problem, though, clearing away the majority of these units. Oh, and this fortress is going to stand proud. The tower will drop at a pretty good time here. That's an extra 1,000 damage a shot, but it's going to take literally 100 shots for this arc light to kill the fortress. Now he's got some friends. It's going to start adding up. That one little crawler did buy a lot of time, but the fortress is going to be able to come back and take the tower. Oh, very well done here. It all comes down to this little arc light. He's dealing what? 207 damage a shot? Well, that's because of the loss of the towers. I didn't realize it updated in real time. That's pretty cool. Top supply versus senior manufacturing specialist. That looks like the case. Okay, the longer the game goes on, the better Kick will be, especially with the giant specialist. Now, there are 2 giants on the field. He's already spent $100 on the giant killer or giant hunter. He needs to kill at least these 2 giants to earn his investment back. Will he be able to do so? That's going to be hard. He is relying on these arc lights. Ooh, but Shielded Fang will be able to buy him a lot of time. A considerable amount of time, given how many Fang are now on the field. There's what, 1, 2, 3 of them? I don't see any others. The reach of this Fang is not to be dissuaded, though. By reach, I mean he's pulling so many units to come and kill this one little unit of Fang that all of these units are then able to flood in. In order to combat this, we see more Fang at the front just to help delay this. I would like to see some shielded Fang on the flanks. That could then be followed up with another unit. Just pulling units away from that center could be very powerful. Man, these Fang are able to survive for such a long time, and it's basically a reversal. The attack that we saw last round, able to destroy so many units, has been blunted. Very good choice here. Now these fortresses are in a lot of trouble. Kick is looking to earn himself an extra $300 next round. That's going to be huge. Paying off his investment plus 150. Man, picking the top supply specialist and being able to win the round. That's not something you see every time. Man, this super heavy fortress, though, there needs to be something that deals damage to it, ticking damage, i.e. steel balls or melting points, or even something that has acid, some crawlers or something. So Kick does win this, and he does a good amount of damage as well. A lot of players underestimate how much damage is done by these arc lights. GCU does grab the haste module. Vulcan's Descent could be quite good. There's really nothing in this back line. And Kick does agree with me. There's the Vulcan. It should be able to claim both these towers, but Vulcans are slow. So we'll have to see if that's good enough. Kick is working with a ton of cash right now. Having that extra 300 dosh means that he can just fully upgrade these arc lights. Arc lights, very cheap to upgrade, and their upgrades really do matter. There's a melting point. I think this is a great play if the melting point does eventually unlock those crawlers. Those crawlers do add up quite a bit. Oh, but we do see Fang coming out of this fortress. Okay. Not a bad play whatsoever. The Fang coming out of the fortress, that's a lot of fortresses. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each spawning a unit of 12 Fang. How many Fang are in a unit? I believe it's 18. Yeah, so he's getting several units of Fang out of this. Probably going to get at least 2 deployments out of it. The Fang will get absolutely trashed by the arc lights, but what's important is it will give these fortresses time to actually come in on the arc lights, because the arc lights do outrange them considerably, but the fortress does deal a significantly more damage. At 6,000 damage, it almost one-shots these level 2 arc lights. Oh, interesting. Double missile just to clear away these Fang and most likely deal a lot of damage to the arc lights behind. Well done. There's the Vulcan in the background. It will eventually come and get this tower. Will it be quick enough? Yeah. Yeah, this battle was delayed quite a while. And this is going to be so much money here for Kick. I mean, he's almost certainly going to win this round. All of the fortresses are falling. That's an extra 250 plus another 150 for the top supply specialist, plus another 50 for the supply specialist. 250, 300, 450 extra bucks. He gets a free giant. That's insane. He can, oh my. He can upgrade one of his units. Sorry about that, guys. I had a little alarm set because I have an open house I need to go to today. Yeah, is GCU dead? No, very close, but he's almost certainly dead this round. It's 1,900 gold versus 1,100 I saw. I mean, yeah, he's done. Like, the difference is at least 4 rounds, let's see, 1,100 to 1,900, it's 200 gold per turn, so 5 rounds. That's pretty bad. Difference between 1,000 and 2,000 gold there. That's going to be rough. Even the shields on these guys is not going to matter. He can deploy 2 melting points and grab 2 techs on them. Oh my god, that is so much money. And you know what? He still has cash to upgrade these arc lights. Oh my word. How much damage are these arc lights doing a shot now? Level 3 arc light, 3,000 damage a shot. That's insane. Granted, the the fortresses still have 6,000 or 61,000 HP, but these guys are going to be able to chunk through that surprisingly quickly because they shoot so fast. All right, mass fortress versus some melting points. The electromagnetic barrage, very powerful here, able to knock off a ton of those important upgrades, important shields. Ion Blast is working a little bit more in the favor of Kick here. Looks like it dealt significantly more damage to those fortresses as well as whatever chaff that they had. But a lot of the arc lights did fall from that, and I do like the inclusion of some Stormcallers here. Just having a little bit more reach is quite good. Stormcallers appear to be shooting at nothing, though. Not even able to reach those melting points. Man, but the melting points are dropping pretty quick here. Oh my gosh. Those Stormcaller reach is really powerful. Really, really powerful. Down goes the tower. I think that he's going to get another spawn of Fang here in just a moment. No, it is electromagnetically shot, but it does not count towards the timer. So he will be able to get some Fang out here just to protect... Oh, not quite. The level 2 fortress should be able to kill this in time. Not with the energy absorption, though. GCU can survive this, but that energy absorption is huge. Look at all these little Fang getting in the way. They really have to get in the way of quite a bit of shots here. Stormcallers are really doing their job, though, trying to deal out as much damage as possible. The fortress is going to be able to chunk through this melting point. Who gets the kill? I think it's the Stormcallers. That's exactly what he wanted. He wants these Stormcallers to be level 2. Wow! Kick actually losing that. I did not think that was going to happen. GCU is still in the game. For how long? Who knows? Electromagnetic barrage, it's 1,500 HP versus, or 1,500 gold versus 1,100. Both players taking the electromagnetic, so it's even Steven. Stormcallers coming out here for Kick. Double Stormcaller. I would have made those level 2. And Incendiary Bomb. Okay, just to clear away any of the Fang that do spawn out. Not a bad choice. These Fang have shields. You know... no, Mass Fang would not be the way to go here. GCU can't be thinking about it. The arc lights just deal with the Fang so well, but... You know, Stormcaller and Fortress with Mass Fang, with Fang upgrades, is not something to be sneezed at. It can actually tear through this army surprisingly quickly. Really, the thing that needs to die are the arc lights. It's surprising, but the arc lights are kind of the entire backbone of this army. And luckily, with arc lights, you can spread them out a lot. They're very powerful. Level 2 Fortress will be able to deal with this level 1 melting point surprisingly well. But if the melting point gets online with that energy absorption, it's normally able to kill off the fortress. GCU needs some cash. Kick, tons of money. Man, and I think that these Fang are just really doing a great job. Although they're feeding XP, at level 4, the Arclight isn't going to get a lot of XP off the Fang anyway, so you might as well leave them. Lots of upgrades on the fortresses. No extra melting points. Shields are dropping. There's the fire, though. That fire is going to burn away all of those little Fang. Oh, really? Tokyo drifting a fortress all the way to the front. Is this a sacrificial fortress? It kind of seemed like it. Definitely a weird one. Here comes the electromagnetic blast just to stop these melting points from absorbing the energy of the fortresses. Out comes some Fang. Oh, but they're just a little too slow, and this level 1 melting point should be able to survive. Yep. Energy absorption, super powerful. Level 1 melting point on this flank as well. That's a lot of missiles. That is a lot of missiles. They're not level 2, but once they get to level 2, they should be able to cut through these melting points very quickly. GCU will not survive this. He needs to kill off at least the other melting point or all of these storm callers. Oh, it's not looking good. What is that? 50, 150? Well, we'll find out here in a moment. I think GCU has one more round in him. He does not. Oh, very close actually at the end there. Very, very close. GG, well done. Kick is the victor of this tournament. Don't forget to like. Bye, I love you. Say it back. Thank you.